we do need to talk about Chang Bing-yu. Subscription fee and adverts? That is rough, man. This is a snapshot of who I think is playing the best snooker this season. Now, there isn't a right or wrong, but there clearly is. Don't lie, you didn't have Chris Wakelin winning the Scottish Open. And if you did, you're probably his dad. Hi, Chris's dad! But does that change this week's power rankings? And am I brave enough to put my Masters predictions on record with you lot able to beat me? Let's find out. Welcome to Pocket Watch, your bi-weekly snooker catch-up. What's just happened, what's happening next, and who's actually playing the best snooker right now. On today's show, we have a full Scottish Open roundup. We have an update to the Pocket Watch power rankings. We're going to have a fan section, now officially titled Talking Balls, and we're going to do a deep dive into the Masters draw, including a competition that you can enter. So let's get into it. First things first, let's reflect on just how wrong I was about every single element of the Scottish Open. Check this out. So my four are Shaun Murphy, Mark Selby, Neil Robertson, and for a bit of fun on the outside, Wu Yizha. Now clip this, because in a couple of weeks I'm either going to look like an absolute genius or an idiot. Chris Wakelin takes on Chang Bing-yu in the final of the Scottish Open. Now be honest, did you predict that final? Either way, it's prediction time. I'm going with Chang Bing-yu, not just to win it, but I think he fully deserves it. He's come through the likes of Kyron Wilson, Mark Selby, Mark Allen, thoroughly deserving in my opinion. Predictions are hard in snooker, man. I reckon I'm hitting about 50-50 this season so far, and the Home Nations is probably the most difficult tournament format to predict. You've got the shorter form matches, the best of 7, which just opens the draw for everyone, but it does keep it exciting. And it's one of the most interesting things about our sport is that from tournament to tournament, it can look so different. But it does mean that I come out looking either like a genius or an idiot. And this week, well, let's move on. Chris Wakelin, I thought, was a thoroughly deserving winner in the end. He's had a difficult couple of months, let's be honest. He didn't make it into the UK's, also not going to be appearing in the Masters, so it's fantastic to see him have a good run in this tournament. He absolutely dominated that final. He played well all tournament, but in that final, he was cool, calm, collected. That run of whatever it was, 8 frames to take the victory was absolutely superb. So I'm thoroughly pleased to see him back in good form. However, we do need to talk about Chang Bing-yu because he went through Kyron Wilson, Mark Selby, Mark Allen, what a run, Sijia Wee as well, I think, in that run to the final. Add to that, he got the 147 in the UK qualifiers earlier this season, and what a fantastic season he's having. Another young Chinese star to look out for, and I think we'll be talking more about that later in the show. But for now, here's my one thing that mattered from the Scottish Open. TNT Sports, £34 a month, that's about £400 a year for what, 5 exclusive tournaments? Yes, I know they get the Triple Crowns, but I'm always going to choose the BBC coverage for those events. Now, I'm not going to watch the events that are on TNT, but subscription fee and adverts? That is rough, man, and the coverage isn't even the best on TV. But what are our other options? What are your thoughts? And after that brief and ironic advert for TNT, let's get back to the snooker. How much did the Scottish Open actually affect the power rankings? Let's jump in and find out. Alright, a quick reminder of the rules. This isn't world rankings, it isn't career achievements, this is a snapshot of who I think is playing the best snooker this season. And this week, nothing changes. No one outside of the top 5 did enough to force their way in, and equally no one in the top 5 did too little to drop out, which actually says quite a bit about the standard at the top right now. However, here are some honourable mentions. Wu Yizha is one of my favourite players to watch on tour right now. He's aggressive, fearless, won the International Championship last 16 in Scotland, and he's sporting one of the most interesting haircuts on the tour since Neil Robertson's lockdown debacle. If Mark Allen wins in Scotland, he knocks Zhao Xintong out of the top 5, but he didn't, so he doesn't. Now, Mark isn't having his most consistent season this season, but he is regularly going deep in tournaments. One big run, and I reckon he breaks the top 5. Before we head into the fan section proper, a shout out to Chris Lang 1395, who gave their top 5 as Selby, Trump, Zhao, Robertson, and Higgins. Agree or disagree? Let me know in the comments. This is a democracy, not a dictatorship, although my word is final. It's time to start talking balls. 147s. Check this out. 16 maximum breaks this season. 16! Count them! Last season, there were 15 in total. So what's going on? Has the standard of play increased that much? Or are the tables playing better? Has someone greased the pockets? Or is it the perfect storm? Better conditions, more attacking players, and is everyone just terrified of being the only one not to make a maximum this year? Because if this pace keeps up, the tally from last year is going to be doubled. And it will be a double by John Higgins, not Stephen Hendry, so it might actually happen. Hendry doesn't pot doubles. That's a great joke. Even Hendry might like that one. So what do you think? Why are we seeing so many 147s this season? Is it luck, psychology, skill, equipment, or is it a perfect mix of all of the above? Drop your theories in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as I finish making a maximum of my own. So what's your take on this? And are maximums losing their magic now because we're getting so many of them, or is that a good problem to have? Let me know in the comments. Speaking of comments, we've had some excellent ones over the last couple of weeks. I do try and reply to all of them, but here are some of my highlights. CEO786 says, Mark Selby would be a great player to lose in snooker, brings nothing to the game except boringness. Every other comment underneath completely disagrees with you, CEO786. Now, there isn't a right or wrong, but there clearly is. S Carpenter 290 says, the best snooker commentary. Well, thank you very much. And if you are Sabrina Carpenter, keep up the good work. My daughter loves you. But, S Carpenter, your comment does lead us to the most important rankings we'll do this episode. Top 5 current snooker commentators. Mine are: number 1, Alan McManus. No one invents an adjective like him. 2, Stephen Hendry. Even his own commentary isn't good enough for him. 3, John Parrott. Slick, just like the hair. 4, Sean Murphy. Not long before he's commentating on his own matches. 5, Steve Davis. Interesting. Drop your thoughts below. Snooker related only. I don't care about you as a person. Best comments get read out on the next episode. Right, it's the moment we've all been waiting for. This is the Pocket Watch Masters prediction game, or PWMPG for short. I'm putting my predictions on record for every first round match, and I'm asking you to do the same. There's a link below where you can pick the winners. Same matches, same rules. I'll publish the leaderboard as the tournament goes on, and whoever gets the most right wins a proper snooker related prize. Entries close when the first ball is struck, so here are my picks. Sean Murphy beats Wu Yiza because he turns up at these big events. Mark Selby over Zhao Gudong. I think Selby goes deep in this one, actually. Neil Robertson to beat Ronnie O'Sullivan. Debate me. Kyron Wilson over Xijar Wei. Q dependent, but I think I'm leaning towards Kyron on this one. Judd Trump, I think, takes Ding Junhui. Absolute crowd pleaser either way. The Battle of the Marks. Mark Allen beats Mark Williams. Final frame decider, I reckon. I'm going with Barry Hawkins over John Higgins. I've just got a feeling about Barry this Masters. And I've got Zhao Jintong to beat Gary Wilson. And after the match, Gary Wilson says that he's the worst player ever to play the game. Over to you. That's it for episode 2 of Pocket Watch. Now, in 2 Sundays' time, I'll actually be at the Masters. So the next episode of Pocket Watch is going to drop on Tuesday, the 13th of January, and will include all of my footage from inside the arena. Then we're back to our regular Sundays after that. For now, please like, comment, subscribe, all of that jazz, and I'll see you either on here in a couple of weeks, or if you're going to be at Ali Pali, hopefully see you there.